in the end, Valley Ridge was just the most inviting. It's got a great layout. It feels warm the minute you walk in. It's got this big, beautiful kitchen with amazing smells coming out of it. Again, the people are lovely and kind without being pushy and in your face. I would say it was the closest one that felt like home.
Hi, I'm Agnes Stowicki, Managing Editor with Comfort Life. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading retirement communities and care providers to uncover insights to community lifestyle, care, culture, and leadership. This includes insights from residents, family members, and administration. This is the Comfort Life Insider Perspective.
So when we were looking around, we'd been to about 5 different nursing home, not nursing home residences. And then we kind of had left Valley Ridge out. My mom and I had visited 2 years ago. This process had started a long time ago with my mom. We had been looking and she'd been ready for a long time. It was my dad who was resistant. So then I went by myself to Valley Ridge. I just thought there was something we loved about it. And then as soon as I went there on my own, I just came home and I said, that's your home. I said, that's the one. What I like about it is the setup when you move in, it's bright, it's well set up. The people are very kind without being overzealous. It's not too much. Some of the places it was just too over the top. It's just, you walk into this beautiful fireplace and you don't see residents sort of strewn all over the place. They're all very high functioning, busy. It just looked like a really well-adjusted environment. Angela has been amazing. Yeah, I think Angela is the sales manager. I'm not exactly sure what her title is, but she has made it busy. She's made it so easy from beginning to end. I mean, this process doesn't come quickly. Like we started this, well, I said my mom and I started looking 2 years ago. It was my dad who was resistant. When we started looking, just everything she could do to make it easy for us, she did. There was nothing she would not do. So from the very beginning, just with the tours with my mom and then my dad hadn't come on the tour because like I said, he was resistant, retoured with him. I mean, she made the suite beautiful. It was new paint, new carpet, new lighting. They were going to move in earlier, but then with the house sale, it got pushed back. She was just flexible with the dates. She was flexible with the timing. She made the suite amazing and in a very non-intrusive, non-pushy way. There was nothing pushy about her. And she could also give guidance along the way, like, okay, yeah, you need to do this, look into this, don't forget this, because it was all steps, sort of like dealing with the banking, dealing with the investment brokers, dealing with turning off the utilities, then the moving truck and the movers, and just it was like my stress was half with Angela. It all comes around to my dad's resistance. It was, I think when parents are giving up their entire life, or so they feel, I think that you just have to have really supportive people around you. And I just value, again, like how there's just non-intrusive, just very gently, encouraging him how it's going to be a lovely experience. She was wonderful with my mom and I. I value their sense of community in that building. They all just seem to work together. They're kind from the second you walk in the door, again, in a very non-pushy way. Yeah. Honestly, my dad I would say, was kind of mild dementia. Like there were just moments of just spaciness and, I think just the stress of moving. There'd been a lot of stress, which I think can impair your memory as a senior. I think poor nutrition as a senior can impair things. And I think this had all been going on for a while. You're just not eating all the time. You're alone in this house and you don't feel like cooking. And I think that it's been amazing for my parents. Literally day 2, I noticed a difference with my dad. He kept telling people he should have done this 5 years ago. Now, I think you can say that, after doing it. But my biggest advice would be, if you're ready to do it now. Like if you're ready in 2 years from now, don't wait the 2 years. Because I think that it's going to all fall into your loved one, which it did with us. I mean, my mom did what she could, but I mean, you're packing up a whole life and it's a lot. Yeah, they're happy. He's in a better mood. I said to my mom, do you miss the house like at all? She's like, not for 1 second. And I think like, again, nutrition is going to be better. Memory is going to be better. They just are much happier people. Oh, I love their suite. So this was the seller for me too, like on top of the other things. So the other ones we looked at, I remember saying to my mom, how are you ever going to get around? I mean, there's 600 square feet or 500 square feet jammed in on top of each other, this much room beside the bed. And, that's what actually led me to Valley Ridge, because I had remembered I'd loved it the years prior when we viewed it. And it was really bothering me, these places that we were seeing. How are you going to get out of bed? What if one day you both need walkers? What if one day you both need canes? You're just going to be tripping all around your bed. What is really neat, and believe me, when I put Angela through the ringer, that poor woman is an angel, had taken me through, honestly, probably about 20 different suites. They're all different. There is barely two that are the same. And there's space. Like my parents in a 1,000 square foot suite, 2 big bathrooms, 2 huge bedrooms, bayed windows, a walk around balcony that's bayed. And that was another huge feature about the suite too. They're balconies, like where nobody wants to be locked inside all day. And even if you didn't get a balcony, we were looking at this one where you didn't have to get a balcony. But just down the hall, they have a huge wraparound balcony just for the residents to go, they do ice cream days or whatever they do, just go sit out, which she said is very quiet most of the time. Like, I just feel like this is an upgrade for them. I feel like this is a lifestyle improvement. Like, you might be packing up your life, but just be proactive instead of reactive. You're cashing in quantity of things for quality of life. Yeah, honestly, my dad I would say, was kind of mild dementia. Like there were just moments of just spaciness and, I think just the stress of moving. There'd been a lot of stress, which I think can impair your memory as a senior. I think poor nutrition as a senior can impair things. And I think this had all been going on for a while. You're just not eating all the time. You're alone in this house and you don't feel like cooking. And I think that it's been amazing for my parents. Literally day 2, I noticed a difference with my dad. He kept telling people he should have done this 5 years ago. Now, I think you can say that, after doing it, but my biggest advice would be, if you're ready to do it now. Like if you're ready in 2 years from now, don't wait the 2 years, because I think that it's going to all fall onto your loved one, which it did with us. I mean, my mom did what she could, but I mean, you're packing up a whole life and it's a lot. Yeah, they're happy. He's in a better mood. I said to my mom, do you miss the house like at all? She's like, not for 1 second. I think, like, again, nutrition is going to be better. Memory is going to be better. They just are much happier people. Much better. I think that I was very bossy with my parents. I think that as a child, it sort of reverses. I feel like watching my parents fail makes me angry. It frustrates me. And so, of course, watching them fail in the house for the last couple of years, I've just kind of makes me angry. And I think now our visits don't have to be so based on, what you're eating, what you're doing. Let's get this packed, get this box packed. I was telling my dad constantly he's doing nothing, like, let's get rolling. But like, he physically couldn't. He really actually couldn't help.
Yeah.
So I just think it's going to be great for my kids and my grandkids now. When we go to visit, we're just going to visit. Like, I think those last years should be ones made of memories. I mean, your whole life should, but these will be the last, sort of lasting memories, and they shouldn't be arguing over selling a house or what has to get done or who's going to do it or come mow the grass, come shovel the snow. I think our visits will be much more meaningful. Like at night, they come and they put a bar down, and if that bar is not lifted up by 10 in the morning, they'll go check the suite. There's safety bells. There's just so many things in place. It's also really nice that after 50 years of, in a house, that they actually go buy themselves. The really nice part was they just are of that generation where they don't buy new things. It's just so nice that they've bought new things for their suite. It's fresh, new couches, new tables, finally, they deserve all that. It's just a very warm building. They're friendly without being overzealous. And I think another thing that I forgot to say earlier, which might address this question, is the cell features, how happy the residents are. You don't find any just strewn on the couches, sadly looking out the window. If they're sitting on the couch, it's because they're waiting for their dog to come back from a walk with the dog walker. I think that, like, they're just high functioning, they're clever, they're out, they're about. Yeah, I really, I think that comes from just a really nice environment. And the food there has been, well, my parents said it's been outstanding. And they're all, I don't want this to sound vain or wrong, but they're all just very well kept. Like they're, one of the residents is 101 and her little matching outfit and her earrings. And I think when you see that as another resident, like take my mom, for instance, like I think that inspires you to do better. Because I know that she's very, well, I need this outfit and I need this, because I tried to get her to cut down on her clothes. No, I cannot. You have to dress for dinner. You have to dress for breakfast. So I think it's been really inspirational for her too. You definitely have to go look at it. It's the environment that I found closest to home that you could find. And I think that I would tell them, if you're looking to do this in 2 years, do it today. There's no time like the present. Again, you can get rid of all the quantity of things you have and trade it in for quality, because your loved ones are going to have better nutrition. They're going to have better mentation. They're going to have better mobility. Just don't wait. Valley Ridge also works in partnership with Alberta Health Services. And so, up to $2,000, you can have home care come in, if your loved one, you can't stay there, of course, if it's been a major disaster, but you can certainly have them come in to bathe, for medication. And that's actually funded by on-site staff. So it's their on-site healthcare that do it. So you don't have people coming and going, but you're funded for that, pour meds, little assist with the bath or mobility. The reason I say do it 2 years before you think you're going to, because if you wait too long and there's a fall or there's a problem, you probably won't end up in a great place like this. So they have cars, they have bridge, they have crafts, they have libraries, they have outings, casinos. I mean, these are all things, drives in the country. They all love that. I mean, we haven't even got to experience that yet. And how great is that to fill your day? I know it'll be a repeat, but we had been to about 5. My mom and I had been to about 5, both 2 years ago, and then on repeat again here in the last few months. And yeah, like I said, in the end, Valley Ridge was just the most inviting. It's got a great layout. It feels warm the minute you walk in. It's got this big, beautiful kitchen with amazing smells coming out of it. Again, the people are lovely and kind without being pushy and in your face. I would say it was the closest one that felt like home. Like I said, my mom and I had started looking 2 years ago, so there was no question that my mom wanted to go. I think my dad, of course, was much more resistant. I think it's really hard to leave your home. But more importantly than leaving your home, I mean, that's leaving things. I think by making this decision, you feel like you're giving up your independence, your freedom. I think you feel like it's a life gone in the garbage. And I can remember when we were packing, my dad was actually very easy about the packing, but my grandson had loaded up all his tools and he had beautiful tools. And he was just so happy that he was taking this truckload of things that will, be his one day. But there was a lot of things in the garage that we had to just sweep into garbage bags. And I remember just being heartbroken. He was watching us just really take our arms and sweeping them into garbage bags. But, I don't think just packing up your things is not packing up your entire life. And until you're in a facility like this, you don't realize that. It was hard because, again, you have to become kind of bossy. So I just, I remember one day I just said to him, and he'd been with us to see a couple, with him, it was just whatever, wherever. That's sort of where he was. And I just remember saying to him, you know what, Dad, Father Time is sitting on your head and this is happening. And I just kissed him on the cheek, and my mom and I tootled off, because it was mostly my mom and I that went to look. We actually only took my dad to 2. The one that we were kind of looking at prior to me going alone to Valley Ridge, and then Valley Ridge. It's been so amazing that my dad has loved it so much, which is, and I knew he would. He's a social guy. Go look at Valley Ridge. You will need not look any further. I mean, I'm talking from smells to residents splayed all over the place to this is the one. It feels like home. Every unit is eclectic. No two are the same. It's easy to navigate. It's easy to get around. Helpful, understanding, kind, flexible people. Yeah, for me, it was, I mean, like I said, as soon as I went there, I went home and, I hadn't even had my dad there yet, and my mom a second time, and I just said, this is your new home. This is going to be it. I can feel it. I think people will look at other ones, but I think you'll realize if you really honestly do a comparison between Valley Ridge and others, I mean, the spacing is no comparison. The layout is no comparison. Clean, tidy, big halls. And I mean, I think for people too, you're looking at things because you know your parents are aging. I was looking for big hallways, well-lit hallways. A vision becomes an issue. You don't want a bunch of like rugs all over, carpet splayed all over the place. That's an issue. You want chairs in the hall because they need to sit down. How far apart are chairs and couches? How is the hall set up? How is the entrance set up? How is their sitting spaces set up? Because these are all important things. They need to sit down, they need to rest, they need to, all things that I think you need to look at is how it's set up. Well, again, they had a promotion on, so it was just so easy. Like Angela had given us a mover. Like, I mean, this was a promotion where they were paying for a moving truck, which again takes a mound of stress off your shoulders. We know they're good with seniors. We know they can be trusted. They had that place moved literally out of their place and into the new one within 3 hours. So you didn't have to look around for a mover. You didn't have to look around for who was going to be trustworthy. I would say leading up to that was a lot. It was a lot of packing. I mean, this has kind of been 2 months all consuming, maybe 3. My kids were there all the time packing. I was there all the time packing. Dump trucks, dump after dump to Salvation Army. I think you accumulate so many things you don't need. So yes, it was a lot. So it is a lot of prep, getting ready. But this is why I say start 2 years sooner, or if you're thinking about it and you're a high functioning senior, get packing your boxes. There's no need that things sit in the basement from 40 years ago. And this is what happens, like get it packed up so that it doesn't fall on your kids. It would make the move that much easier. However, we had a house full of things that had sat there for years and years, hence lots of runs to the dump, lots of runs to Salvation Army. But it got done in the end. On a moving day, the movers were amazing and completely covered and taken care of by Angela. I think those pleasant surprises had just come like sort of pre-move. I mean, she did everything in her power to make it fit their budget. She did everything in her power to make it beautiful. Like I said, like how many more surprises could there be? She had done everything: new carpet, new walls, new lighting. You walk in and they have mailboxes outside with all sorts of like welcome notices, and that's where they receive all their weekly notices. They had name tags that they wear, to help learn each other's name. I love that there too. They wear these name tags. Movers were so amazing. Like that bed was set up in literally half an hour. Bed, wow. Mattress, nightstands. I loaded everything. That place was ready to go that night. Yeah. So again, I would tell myself, do it sooner rather than later. Like when we were doing it at that sort of 2 years, when we had started looking, I would have pushed more for it to happen now. When they were still able to do a few things more and had more energy. Just don't wait.
For more information about this community, you can visit their profile at comfortlife.ca.